John Edwards for Griffin's TV alongside head football coach Chris Starkey. And Coach, week one in the books, not exactly the result that you were looking for, but there were a lot of positives that took place in that game.
Yeah, we always want to come away with a victory. The boys deserve that, the community deserves that, the school deserves that, but there's a lot of positives to build off of. We played 4 quarters really hard. We had a great game plan. The kids executed the game plan really well, which was something that they had expressed to me. They'd never really been held to that kind of standard as far as the preparation that we asked them to have last week, and they took it and they ran with it. So that was really exciting going forward, knowing that they're going to be able to do that week in and week out. And then just offense and defensively, we had a lot of positives. Outside of the first run of the game for them, they scored on a 75-yard run. You take that away, we would have held them to under 100 yards rushing. Anytime you hold a team under 100 yards rushing, you're probably going to win the game. So you take away that big play, the first play from scrimmage essentially, and then a couple other big plays on defense, and it's a whole other game. Unfortunately, on the offensive side of the ball, we struggle with some penalties and things like that, which we've really preached this week, just getting those things fixed. I think we'll do that this week, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Offensively, I know in most offenses now, it seems like coaches want to stretch the field vertically and horizontally. Is that a difficult task to do as players are still learning this system?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's because, I think it's more because we're still learning the kids. Not necessarily they're still learning the system. Again, my coaching staff and I have really only been here for 3 months. And so we're trying to figure out still what the kids are good at, where we can utilize them the best. I think Friday night last week gave us a good picture of that on both offense and defense, but specifically on offense. And so we built on that this week, and hopefully we'll be able to capitalize that as we play Deshin this week.
Offensively, you were able to get the ball to the outside, and really that was kind of like the sweet spot for you last week against Parkway South. Had a hard time rushing the ball through the middle of the field. Is that something that you guys worked on this week?
Well, we knew going into the game that they were going to be really stout on the defensive line. They have a couple guys who were getting some potential Division I opportunities there. And so having those guys to run the ball up against was going to be a tall task. So we knew hitting them on the edges was going to be something we had to do. We still gave it our fair shot and had a couple of them break up the middle, but we definitely had some more success on the outside. We put in some adjustments and things up front this week that will hopefully help us make some better movement up there. But we're young up there. We start 3 sophomores at the offensive line spots and a couple juniors as well. And so just knowing that we're going to continue to have those guys to build and focus on is something that's exciting.
Defensively, the team, minus that first play, the defense really held up well throughout the entire game. It seemed like you had a very good scheme going in defensively, and they were very aggressive moving to the ball throughout the game.
Yeah, we've been preaching all summer long, all fall, that we've got to be a team that wins games with our energy and intensity. We're not always going to be the best football team on the field, but we can counter that with high level of play. And they did that on Friday. Unfortunately, we had some bad breaks, a couple trick plays, penalties, and then just whatever it was, that first play of the game, there was some lack of alignment situations there, and then just the excitement of the first play could have been a factor as well. But yeah, I was very proud of our defense. Again, most times when you have that kind of defensive performance, you're going to win. Take away those 3 plays, like I said before, and I would have liked our chances a lot more.
This week you get to Shen, a big football team, and talk about this week and what you're matching up against.
Yeah, they're talented. They got a lot of athletes everywhere you look. Offensive line, defensive line, wide receivers, quarterbacks, just pretty much everywhere you look. They're a smaller school, but that's not going to be noticeable on the field. They've got big kids out there. They got strong kids, fast kids. They're going to be well coached. Coach Morris, who was here last year, is their head football coach now, and the little bit of film that we have on them, he's doing a heck of a job out there. So we expect a great game. We know we're going to have to fix the mistakes we had last week. It'll be our first road game, so that's always a test. making sure the kids understand the routine and stay focused and all the things that just go with traveling. So we're expecting a big game. The kids had a good week of practice. They're excited. They know what's at stake today or this week, and I'm ready to get rolling.
Prior to this, I had said that the program had 2 big wins this week. Freshman team picked up a win last night against St. Dominic. JV team earlier in the week picked up against Parkway West. And how big is that for the momentum in the program?
That's huge. Just talking to some of the kids that have been here for 4 years, and having them say things like, I don't know the last time that's happened. Myself, I'm not sure the last time when they've had a freshman team and we're able to field. We had 35 freshmen on the field last night, and we've got 5 or 6 other games scheduled throughout the season, and so that's just huge for the development and the consistency of the program. It's really hard for a freshman kid to sit there and practice all year and then not get opportunities to play in games. That doesn't retain them. It doesn't make them want to come back in the future. And so it was very important for me, my staff, Mr. Potsu, the AD, to make sure that we gave those guys at the freshman level an opportunity. And then our JV kids are kids who've been around a little bit, but they haven't experienced the type of excitement that they had in that game. They were down 17-0. They came back and won on a play with 1.6 seconds left in the game. And just walking the halls the next day with them and seeing their faces of excitement, hearing them talk about it at practice, it was a breath of fresh air for our program and something that was really needed, I think.
Coming into the season, you knew you'd take some lumps this year. With the success early on with the under-level kids, does that trickle now into your varsity team?
Yeah, well, I think you accompany that with the success we're hoping our lower levels are going to have, and then the experience that our kids who are playing varsity right now are going to have. Like I said, we have probably 7 sophomores who are starters, another 3 or 4 who get quality time on Friday nights, 2 or 3 freshmen who are out there on Friday nights who weren't involved in those freshman games or who weren't involved in those JV games. And so you mix all those guys together in the next couple of years, and I'll just say we're on the right track. That's where we want to be. That's what we know it's going to take. And so it's exciting to see all that come to fruition.
So you are a St. Louis guy. You left for a few years. You've been back a couple months. What was that one thing that you missed while you were gone?
Lion's Choice.
Lion's
Choice. I am a huge Lion's Choice fanatic. I'll actually have it today. It's kind of a, since I've been back the last 3 weeks, our scrimmage week, and then last week, and now this week, I'm going to have that for lunch. I guess that's going to kind of be my superstition. I just love the roast beef sandwiches, the French fries, everything about Lion's Choice is incredible. A lot of people were probably expecting emos or
That's what I was expecting,
something like that, and I love those things too. But I love Lion's Choice.
Are you a superstitious kind of coach?
I wouldn't say I'm a superstitious guy. I definitely have my routines. I do a daddy with donuts thing with my daughter in the mornings on game days. We sit and have donuts together. Sometimes we're able to get out to a place and have them, or sometimes my wife just picks them up and brings them home for us. And so I don't really know if that's a superstitious thing. I'm just a big routine guy. I like things to be a certain way, and when those things don't happen, I kind of get out of or into a funk. And so I'm very meticulous about making sure that happens that way so that I can be focused, my kids can be focused, and we can have a great week.
Coach, I appreciate a few minutes. Best of luck against Duchesne tonight, and we'll talk to you again next week.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Head coach Chris Starkey joins us. Best of luck to him and the team tonight against Duchesne, and they'll be back in action later tonight.